Good. Do you like it?
Commence primary ignition.
Hey, this is Marty Matulis. I play Vane on The Mandalorian, and you're watching the Virtual Cantina Network.
Hello there, everybody out there. Welcome to another episode of Ahsoka Revisited. Very excited about tonight's episode. Got a couple of new faces. First and foremost, we got Dave riding Chewie. How are you, sir?
Doing well. How goes it, the world?
Doing well there. And Jeff, how are you, sir?
Good, except it's freezing in California. No, it's
It is. Yeah.
It actually got sort of frozen, but anyways, I digress.
And sitting in for Mr. Notman, we have Skip. Skip, how are you, sir?
Excited to be filling in again.
Woo.
Yes. And oh, look, there's John live from London in the chat. Very nice. Hello, John.
Excellent.
Oh, wait, where's the chat?
And we are very honored and very excited to have the most recent inductee into the Virtual Cantina Hall of Fame back again, the man who's been on our show more times than anybody else, Chris Bartlett. Chris, how are you, sir?
Thank you so much. I'm doing great, and I always love coming on with you guys. I love what you guys do for the fans too. It's so much fun to be, talking about this stuff and watching the shows together. So thanks for having me.
Oh, it's an absolute honor. And for those who've never seen an episode with Chris, what do you think? What are you doing? Like, you should have seen every one of them because every one of them is awesome. But you have a lot of questions. Dave, how would somebody ask a question to Chris?
Well, number one, if you haven't seen all of the episodes, go back to the Virtual Cantina Network and go to our Watch-Alongs playlist and go check them out. Go watch all of the things because always there, always available to learn something and hear Chris's great stories. And we look forward to seeing some more tonight. If you have questions, you can put them on YouTube. You can put them on Facebook. You can, if you are one of the little group side chat bar things that we have on the Facebook chats, put them in there, and we will go ahead and relay those to Chris. So put them any way that you can. The only thing that we ask, though, is if you have a comment there, go ahead and make sure that you connect your Facebook to StreamYard. Is you can go ahead down here at StreamYard.com/Facebook, connect your account so that way we can give you credit for your comment. We'll be able to associate your profile pic and your name and that sort of thing. So please do that. It does have to be redone from time to time periodically. So we just don't want to, say, hey, Facebook user says blah, 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 blah. We want to know who you are.
So for those who know, we announced with a very special announcement that the first 4 actors coming to Bunta Eve Hollywood live from Scum and Villainy is going to include Leilani Shu, who is a VCN Hall of Famer, Misty Rosas, Don Deininger, and Chris. Chris, we are so excited that you're going to be part of our big vacation and kicking it off with us at Scum and Villainy this coming July 29th.
I can't wait to see you guys. You're coming to my hometown here. I'm so excited to see you. And Scum and Villainy is an attraction in and of itself. It's really looks and feels just like the cantina in A New Hope. So, they've got holograms floating in the air and music, and the great alcoves where you can sit and they're all lit, just like when you're in the cantina. So it'll be a lot of fun, even if you're not there to to see us. Just being there will be really fun for any Star Wars fan.
I'm stoked because I've actually never been to Scum, so this is actually my first time walking in.
Oh,
so I'm excited about it all overall.
Nice. Oh, this place can be a little rough. Yes, Scum of Villainy.
Yeah, well,
really fun.
We are all looking forward to it, and we're compiling for the group like a list of Funkos and Black Series figures and everything that would be appropriate for your signature. Just to let everybody know.
Oh, great!
We've got a lot of them.
Yeah, you've got some cool figures.
There are a few figures. A little piece of trivia. I'll just say one time, with Ahsoka, I crossed 20 characters in Star Wars.
Wow.
So I've played 20 characters now. But my favorites are the droids. I don't know if you know this or not, but I love robots and I love the droids. So we're gonna see a couple of them tonight.
Nice.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And again, I
very,
apologize.
very excited about that.
I apologize for it's dinner time. I'm almost done eating. So thanks for your patience.
No worries. Also you had some, what'd you say, 3 PCPO problems?
Yes, yeah. My
little technical difficulties.
Laptop a little bit, yeah. I turned it on and the battery was dead. Anyway,
that's fun.
We fixed it. So
excellent. And what a week for Star Wars. First and foremost, we find out that new announcements. Mandalorian and Grogu, a new feature film directed by Jon Favreau, starting production this year, is absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
And also the development of season 2 Ahsoka. Like, so much is going on in what we call the Filoniverse.
Right. Yeah, I mean, the big screen really is, I feel like, where Mandalorian and Grogu belong. They, it feels like a film when you're watching the episodes, and same thing with Ahsoka. But the very first time I saw any of the Mandalorian was on the big screen, and that was at the premiere night, and of episode 1 and 2. I think they showed the first 2 episodes, and it just felt like, this is Star Wars. This is a film. So anyway, I'm so excited that that we'll, as fans, we'll all be able to see more Mandalorian on the big screen. That'll be fun.
Just saying, it better be a long movie. We want more Mando content. Long movie.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I'm sure I'm sure it'll be standard length, but they always pack so much into the episodes, so many things to see, so many, I don't know, aliens and creatures and stormtroopers and speeders and droids, and
makes it that much more fun on the rewatch. Get to see the things that you missed the first time.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Great point, Jeff.
It's also going to be very exciting considering the fact that the end of season 3 Mandalorian, you ended with everything serene and you had the iris close. Like you feel like it's almost the end of the series. But if you're coming back and you're on the big screen, it could be a whole different animal altogether, which is kind of cool.
Right. Yeah, right. And for the first time in a long time, my character didn't get disintegrated. So that was nice too.
Disintegrations.
Yes, exactly. I love the ending. Finally, all Grogu has known is conflict, through from when he was very, very young to this point. And finally he gets to just like play in the pond out front with the frog, and while his dad is sitting on the porch, getting the break. So I'm really I'm happy that there's going to be another season.
It was very funny because we were watching the finale and we see Mando kicking his feet up. We're like, well, that's very quintessential Brendan. Like, that's like we could see him doing that with like the hat just over his face, just like lounging out over there. So it was like it felt great.
Yeah, exactly. And I can do that sometimes if I want. I can put my feet up. It's just really kind of painful, but anyway, I can still do it. It's fine. I have some behind the scenes photos of me reclining in my in the droid outfit,
and
that's
it's
how I take a break.
Straight out, stiff as a board.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm kind of like lean way back. You'll see. I'll post it. I can't sit, but I can lay at an angle.
And very much a lean.
Eat like this. Yeah.
So you had mentioned at previous episodes that, like, for example, when you were doing the first season as well as when you did Book of Boba Fett, you didn't know what you were walking into, but by season 3, you knew what you're walking into. Was that the same with Ahsoka?
No, I knew what, because of pre-production meetings, I knew what we were doing. There's always code names, so you know it's something different. And but it was I knew that it was what we were working on was the Ahsoka show. So yeah, that was good. Yeah.
The code name was Rebels Season 5.
It does feel kind of like that, right? Or live action Rebels. It's really nice to see transforming stylized cartoon like characters into live action. That it takes a lot of creativity because you're in cartoon land, everything is stylized. So when you bring it into live action, it has to have all the detail that the real the real character would have. Chopper, for instance, has quite a few more details and rivets and wires and things like that on him in the cartoon. And Dave, let's see. Well, on set, it's understood that here's the philosophy: is everything you've seen in animation occurred in real life, and the animation is a stylized retelling of that story. So even though the first time you've seen Sabine is in animation, she's a real person who had real adventures, and we're kind of being told it in kind of like a bedtime story, right? And so when we bring it to live action, this is what they actually look like. When you think of like Cad Bane,
version.
Yeah, the true version. So you think of like Cad Bane, or you think of Ahsoka, Sabine, those characters. This is what they actually look like, and so anyway, I thought it was really interesting philosophy that we learned, on the production of how that works.
And we
that's
chose
really kind of meta. It's just like the way to think about that is, oh, you're watching like a Saturday morning cartoon that's the legends of these actual people in a galaxy far, far away. And
right.
That's
well,
cool.
also in this episode, we actually see the live action version of the epilogue of Rebels.
Oh yeah.
Great point. That's right. Yeah. What about
some variation?
What were you most excited to see in Rebels come to live action?
Skip, why don't we start with you?
I'm just going to say the characters themselves. It's kind of one of the things I'm excited about season 2 is this whole kind of drama of all the emotions of going from animation to live action. Well, we've had a season to get rid of it or get used to it, get used to it, so that as we go into season 2, it's going to be more about the story and enjoying what's going on instead of being entangled in what happened in the animation. So I love the characters. I love seeing the new characters. I love seeing them in real life. I love seeing them act in real life, because in animation, there's of course they can do that. Whereas in live action, it's like, wow, they got away with doing that. That's kind of the nice part of seeing it in live action.
Yeah, that's a great point. The thing with legends and stories that are passed on through many, hundreds, maybe thousands of years, is there's always the likelihood that some part of the story will be embellished, so because it's being told by people who either loved or hate this character, and so depending on their point of view, the retelling, which could be like in animation, but or orally being retold, was always things that could be, one example would be like, wow, can a droid really do that, like run and jump like that? Or would a droid would his mouth light up red when he talks, or things like that, where sorry, I'm focused on the droids, but
we love the droids.
But through history, all the stories that we've heard, whether they're fictional or real, or I guess real is what I'm talking about, is they all have the tendency to be embellished the further away you get from the origin of the story, and so I think that's why some of the things can be stylized in animation. They're just a little bit more embellished than maybe what actually happened, in the real story.
So you're saying there's a director's cut, a Filoni cut of the entirety of Rebels that's told from Thrawn's point of view. That's what you're saying. That's what I hear.
I mean, all of these stories are told from a certain point of view, that's why I'm excited for other stories to come out that are told from a different point of view, regarding, the Force or Jedi or Sith. What do the Sith think? Are they all like, we're all evil and want all powerful, unlimited power, or do they view the occurrences that are happening as we're doing what we believe is most effective?
Yeah.
We're the solutions we're coming up with, we believe are going to, meet our, the things that we need to have happen, so the Jedi do the same thing. So I think different points of view are really interesting in storytelling.
We were talking about that last night on the Daughters of the Galaxy show, about how the ladies on that show are really excited for the Acolyte, because that really is rumored to be, that's what it's going to do, is it's going to tell us the story more from a Sith-centric point of view.
Right. I think that'll really be interesting to hear, where the Jedi, you could say the Jedi tell the story from their point of view, and how, the Sith is evil. And it could just be that the Sith have a different perspective on how to solve problems. And we've been told all this time that they were bad guys. Maybe it was just a different, way of thinking. But there's a the book, Star Wars from a different point of view, is a great collection of stories that are like this. You'll get a story from the point of view of Grand Moff Tarkin, or I don't know, other characters that the films were not told from their point of view. So anyway,
so let me ask you this: who do you think the film's point of view is told from? Who is telling this story?
From the droid's point of view, of course.
Totally believable, because I think my head
all of them
forever has been, I assumed it was 3PO telling the story, much the way he's doing it on Endor with the sound effects and the thing. That's always been my headcanon.
Well, it's funny that 3PO says, well, I'm not much more than an interpreter, and I'm not very good at telling stories. But really, the R2 and 3PO are the ones. It's it's my opinion as an audience member, that A New Hope is told through their eyes, and so everything they encounter is how they would interpret it, and so anyway, I think. Wait, let's see. I lost my track of that. What was the question? The point of view of the films. Yeah, so I think A New Hope, at least, is told from C-3PO and R2-D2's point of view. Empire, maybe Luke. I'm not sure.
But could it all be like the legend stories like Hu Yang is talking about when he finally says a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away when they're riding in the Purgle?
Right. Maybe all of the because he's been around for thousands of years, right?
Right.
Right, yeah.
Talk about
Yeah,
having a full picture.
Wouldn't that be interesting if it was being told from his point of view, and that all the crawls that we see are all actually his words? That would be pretty interesting.
Wow, that would be cool.
Yeah, when he said that, I got chills. when Hu Yang said that, a long time ago in a galaxy far away, I was like, oh, that's what if that was him? That's neat.
Well, we're about to get started in a few moments before the episode. I'll also say that I know a lot of the fandom was excited for Ahsoka to finally see the live action incarnation of Thrawn.
Of Thrawn, right? Yeah, he's created by Timothy Zahn in the books.
Yep.
And such a rich character with so much story behind him, and then we saw him in Rebels, right? And then to see him now in live action, this would be what would be considered the real iteration or incarnation of Thrawn,
which is very cool in that he's voiced by the legends or cartoon retelling voice.
Right.
Do you think Dave takes a lot of time to kind of really honor the creation that Timothy Zahn made in his original novels, bringing him into live screen? Does he really try and follow the basis of the character?
You know what? That'd be a question for Dave. I don't want to speak for Dave, but I love working with him, and it is every day on set is story time with Dave. It is such a rich experience, and that's why I was like, when I was talking about the difference between live action and animation, as animation being like the bedtime story version of the real thing. That's I learned that from Dave, and what he, from what I've been able to, I would say, interpret or perceive, is he wants to bring forward the stories that mean the most to the fans. So when it comes to Zahn, the information and the stuff that we see in the in live action, he really wants to. It's my perception that that we want to tell stories that mean a lot to fans, and that are exciting and memorable and interesting, and you don't have to have read all the books or watched all of Rebels to be able to see him as an interesting character. That's also important. It's helpful and cool, and you get to see understand it a lot better as a fan if you've seen these other or read these other stories, but you don't have to in order to understand it and have a good time watching. So I'll just say that.
Definitely.
Who do you think is sassier? Who do you think is sassier, K2 or Hu Yang?
Sassier?
Yeah,
that. Let's see. Hu Yang really had some attitude I was not expecting. And I liked that about him. How his dynamic with Sabine was really fun. But I guess I would have to say K2SO was sassier because he had a great attitude too. Not he's ex-Empire reprogrammed droid, and but Hu Yang comes from Hu Yang. You got to think of him as like a Clint Eastwood kind of sitting on his porch, get off my lawn kind of a guy. He's been around for a long time, and he doesn't care what people think. He doesn't care your opinion, you little person who's trying to learn to use the Force or whatever. I've been teaching Jedi for thousands of years, and and I can tell you right now, I don't care what your feelings here are about the matter, that you're not going to be good at using the Force or whatever. I think that's a good way to look at it.
No filter.
No filters, yeah, because he doesn't care.
Well, I think it's a good time to get ready with the 10-second countdown. So if everybody has their Disney Plus all queued up to part 2 of Ahsoka, we will start momentarily with our 10-second countdown. So Dave or Jeff, you want to hit the button?
Go for it. Okay, I got you.
And away we go. Oh.
And we forgot to mention, go ahead and let the recap play. Don't skip it. Just
as per usual. Play that recap. So we were talking to Hal about how much this kind of had Fifth Element vibes with those fire things inside in that chamber.
Temple, right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so impressed with the live action incarnations of the characters. They really seem to embody like the soul of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
I was extremely impressed with the Ezra. Iman was absolutely fantastic.
Yes. Yeah, and he's always having so much fun on set. I mean,
sorry, we're to the point where she run through.
Yeah, she just got scared.
Yeah. I worked with him and was watching him on the day he was fighting the stormtroopers on the around those little Airstream trailers.
Yeah,
the pod things. And I was playing RA7, and he was so excited to see a droid walking around. So he came up to me, and so we got pictures and stuff. It was a lot of fun. But he was very, very kind, very generous, and just having the best time.
Did you see that group at LA Comic Con?
Yes, I did. Yeah, it was great to see them.
You guys had your nice little side table. I liked how they had you guys sort of on that main aisle. You and Amy and Lauren, Mary Kim.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a great time.
He really does feel like he's delved deep into the character and really taken on the fandom, the way he does his autographs. He really wants everybody to, accept him on any level.
Who does?
Iman.
Oh, yeah. Iman,
yes,
right.
Yes.
So we just saw the recap of Sabine getting speared, and there's always been since then, okay, Qui-Gon got stabbed, you got Maul who got cut in half. What's your take on that? Do you think he just missed major arteries?
Didn't hit her spine?
I don't understand how certain technology works.
Yeah, that's true.
Where before I thought a lightsaber through, that does you in. But anyway,
nice to see you, Leilani.
Yeah, Leilani's in the crowd right now.
Oh, hey, Leilani. But it was nice that Sabine, I guess, had a short hospital stay.
Right.
Yeah, it was kind of like, she got skewered. Oh no, she's okay now. Kind of almost instantaneous turnaround thing.
Magical lightsaber, kind of like the magic bullet, that just kind of danced around and missed.
Those orange ones don't do the same damage.
Except
for maybe
that
I don't know the
captain guy.
Maybe the potency of Bacta is better at this time frame. I don't.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
specifically
Yes,
for saber wounds.
right. Because several people have gotten them run through with the lightsaber, but yeah.
Yeah, it
So we have
seems
our
like it's
first
hit and miss.
We have our first question from the crowd, which is actually from Jonathan, who was your tour guide in Florida. He's in the crowd right now.
Oh yeah, yes. Hello, Jonathan.
He's in London right now. And he wants to know any thoughts on why the First Order of the Empire have less droids in co-pilot or navigational tasks.
Why the First Order had fewer droids?
Or Empire had fewer droids doing like navigational type stuff. Whereas the Republic seem to have more. Right.
Good question. I think, the Republic this is just my personal opinion. I think the Republic were relying on droids a lot like we rely on GPS for our phones when we're driving around, where we don't learn maps anymore. We just
Follow blindly.
Wait for the robot to tell us when to turn. It could be that, and maybe the Empire, knew that they were using droids as spies. The Empire was using RA-7 droids as spies, and so they knew that droids could be, compromised maybe, and so maybe they relied more on their own maps or their own organic facilities. That would just be a guess.
We have to give it up again for Ray Stevenson. He did such an incredible job with this character.
Oh gosh,
and it's so sad that he didn't get his flowers for it.
Yes, I loved his character. It was so such gravitas, I think, to this show, and incredible shame that he was not able to see.
Did you have any scenes with him?
No, I didn't.
No,
I was busy being chopped in half. So I was upstairs, and he was doing other things. So I didn't get to have, sadly, any scenes with him.
It's too bad.
Yeah. I did have a scene though with our Sith, or not Jedi.
Shinhati.
Yeah, right. I did have a scene with her because as the navigation droid in the blue one in episode 1, when she entered swinging her lightsaber, it was pretty dramatic, and then I got chopped in half. So.
There we go.
Yes.
Nice shot of Merle there.
And yet they didn't heal you immediately with a quick bandage and just.
Right. They. Oh, what was the cat called again?
Lothcat.
The Lothcat is practical. It's
right.
A practical puppet.
Wow. Hal had mentioned that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of the funniest thing about this is one of the biggest things out of the first couple of episodes that people are concerned about is who's feeding the cat while she's
right.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
And really, what kind of shenanigans does Lothcat get into during Life Day celebrations? Like, does he climb in the tree? Does he pull down the ornaments? Yeah.
Definitely.
So here we are on. What was this? Oh yeah.
It's not your head, is it?
I mean, I worked on building those, the HK.
Nice.
HK
Very
droids.
cool.
Yeah.
Did you work in proximity to the Lothcat puppet at all?
No, I didn't.
No.
I probably would have tripped over it.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't be able to see it very well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you ever see it in action while you weren't not in a scene or something?
No, because I was on the bridge of the ship, as well as out on the tarmac.
Right.
And then let's see. and then I was on the ship. No, I was mostly on ships. Yeah.
The live action representation of Lethal was absolutely fantastic.
Oh yes, right. Very faithful, wasn't it?
Yes.
Extremely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you're talking about you didn't see any of those, or you weren't with those because you were on the other set. Like, what kind of proximity are the sets in? Are they close? They far? Are they like across the lot, or different locations entirely?
Yeah, they can be next door, but sometimes there's, multiple sets going. So, if you picture two big warehouses right next to each other, that's kind of how it.
So you pointed out in the
we got
book
a
of
little
Boba
freeze.
Fett when we did the watch along that the Major Domo utilized that 80s bowling game. Is that a different kind of game that Sabine's using right now?
Looks like Chris froze up.
Oh,
Ew.
there may be droid issues.
Yeah, more droid issues could be happening. We'll let him reconnect, I guess. Probably have to hold that question until he comes back.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the meantime, Lila has a fun idea for a piece of swag. Is a two-piece patch, the droid that separates in the middle.
That'd be fun.
Maybe that should be a
Upstairs.
three-piece patch and like a little lightsaber that you put
Chris's
right down the
head
middle.
and his body.
He'll be back in a second. His PC crashed.
No. All righty. More droid issues like we thought.
Yeah.
It is interesting. The longer that we watch these over and over again, the more
Hilarious.
that you just start feeling like these are the characters. I don't know whether it's, I take it in my head as I combine the two of them. Like, I was watching Rebels just the other day, and I sit here and look at Sabine on the live action Ahsoka, and it
Here
just
it comes. Hey,
feels like
he's
it
back.
goes from one to the other.
Sorry.
So we
Technology.
The question was, no
No worries.
you had your Azillian droid smith helping you out over there? Yeah, the bubble freak or something like that?
Yes. Right. And I was like, no, stop. No, I got this. Right. Yes. No. It works
So
now.
one of the questions is that you had pointed out during when we watched the Book of Boba Fett that the Major Domo was holding an 80s like bowling game, and Sabine seemed to be holding something that was similar. Was that a video game system as well?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, it's the same thing. You can take the thing out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of these.
There you go.
There you go.
Were you? I think did you get that recently, or have you had it for a while? Because I think on one episode I was
yeah.
I think you were looking for it at one point on one episode when you were.
Yeah, I've had it a while. I got it when I immediately after I got done filming on Book of Boba Fett. I was like, I know what that is.
Yeah.
So I went out and found one on eBay. So I have yet to convert it to the Book of Boba Fett, or even this one. But yeah, this is,
the fun to have it.
Sizable data pad. But anyway, yeah, it's
their
all from
use of their repurposing of stuff is fun.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That and the Kodak camera. I was like, what? Polaroid camera. I'm sorry. When they pulled that out as a navigation device in
Andor.
Yeah, in Andor, that was.
Yes,
I was like,
that was great.
I know that's a camera.
So I love the fact that we always had our theories since season 2 of Mandalorian of whether or not Morgan Elsbeth was a Night Sister, and getting that confirmed was actually pretty awesome.
Yes. Yeah, this is so great. I love seeing the Night Sisters in live action too. That was really special.
Yeah, very cool.
Claudia Black was fantastic as the.
What's that?
Claudia Black was fantastic.
Oh,
as
the main.
Right, sister.
Yeah.
Yes.
this was really an incredible scene too.
And that was a real red herring, because I remember when the logo came out and we saw like what I have on my shirt. We all thought it was the World Between Worlds, but it wasn't. It was a navigational chart. So fans went one way, and it's something completely different, which is absolutely awesome.
I still retain that it was Dave messing with us, that it really was the World Between Worlds, but we just had to wait till the very end of the last episode. That they like, aha!
Yeah, right. You know, I mean, it's so hard to, or such serious business, keeping the secrets so that the stories can tell themselves instead of other people, you know, leaking these stories. So when, if there's any chance for redirection or misdirection, that's, you know, before the story comes out, that's always fun, because, you know, we want the audience to hear the story from the story itself, you know, instead of somebody
Blue
else.
Harvest.
Yeah, that's right.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
One thing, I mean, spoiler alert as well, that I think us as the fans are pretty excited about was that one of those powerful last scenes when you see Balin standing on the father's hand, basically looking like they're pointing towards Mortis. It's pretty exciting.
Oh yeah, right. It did have a little Lord of the Rings aesthetic there, but yes, that was the father from Mortis, right?
Yeah. And you had the daughter who was basically cut in half, which is the embodiment of Ahsoka and the owl. So that's kind of cool to see that they're
Yeah. That's a great point, Spencer. Yeah. That they're connected.
See, we're watching some of the scenes right now to where I really do love. We talked about how Balin Skull was a really standout character, but so is Shin and Hati. Is the new characters here in this series are really, you know, yeah, we love to see our Rebels characters, but the new characters made for this series are kind of the standouts and the runaways.
Right. They're not even you know, these are not background or side characters. These are main characters that are so
very
memorable and
important,
iconic and compelling. Yeah.
Lynch key.
Right.
I love her Padawan braid. That was such a great like detail.
Yes.
One of my favorite.
I love the hesitancy, or there's something behind the behind the curtain in Balin Skull's mind. You know, like what is he's it feels like there's something more going on there.
Ulterior motive.
Yeah, what is I love that throughout this, because
definitely other motivations.
Yeah, right.
The quality of the graphics here is really exceptional.
Yeah,
and I was excited that they went back to Corellia, because last time we saw Corellia, it was gray, it was dismal, it was dirty when we saw it in Solo, and now we're seeing like blue skies, and you're seeing life actually happen and not so dingy.
Right. So here, this is me as the RA7 droid.
Nice.
And you'll see we leave this location and go into the ship, and then I'm in that scene also, but as a different character.
Nice.
But you know, I had some.
There's your game.
It's the game. That's right. The direction that I had from on set was these RA7 droids are former Imperial, and they are more like security cameras than protocol droids. So they're not no personality. They are just basically, you know, scanning for information. This little vehicle right here, that is a pallet jack that they built a whole vehicle over.
Whoa, that's pretty cool.
Well, the question I would have is it the same pallet jack that they used in A New Hope when they got to Yavin.
Well, I think he was giving away secrets and got bumped.
Oh no! It's right there. Is
Dave Filoni was at home
John
going,
is sitting there with like
Exactly. Filoni has his finger on the pulse.
Filoni had his finger on the button. You will not tell that secret.
At least he didn't get hung up for ever and a day and then fall off.
Yeah,
time.
no, it has that same look that the
transport they had in
Hope, as they're driving through the Yavin base.
Yeah, definitely that same aesthetic.
Here he comes.
So I was going to say before, one of my favorite memories of being in London was getting a chance to see Rey on stage as they announced him as being the Skull for Ahsoka. It was really, it became even more special, when we found out we lost him, that it was one of the last chances to see him. And seeing him get his kudos for being in the show even before anybody had seen it. The crowd reaction to him was excellent.
He's trying to reconnect.
There, he's coming.
Yep. Okay, there we go.
There we go. Gonna add him. Oh, sorry.
There we go. Okay.
Fighting over it.
So, Skip,
back.
why don't you ask the question?
Oh, I was just really thinking about the one of the things I was going to try and say to you earlier is that what was so special about being in London was getting to see him get his kudos, Rey his kudos for paying Baylan Skoll, but I know what it was. I missed your tip in Spencer. Sorry about that. The cart there, the pallet jack, it actually looked like the pallet jack that they used for A New Hope on the Yavin base. Was it a similar type of cart, just being multi-purposed?
Yes, and the droid, the droid that's driving it, the astromech droid that's driving it, is actually there's the driver is down inside that piloting the pallet jack. It's so
That's
cool
funny.
to see it on set and how it was working, where it looks like it's floating even on set.
Nice.
Did anybody else also notice that Star Wars only has one model medical droid?
It's because it does an excellent job.
There you
It
go.
does, right? Why?
Well, I mean, if it makes a lightsaber wound just look like a little bitty scorch mark,
or a wampa,
droid.
Yeah, right.
Wampa, attack. Yes, yeah.
I'd want to keep that droid around.
Definitely.
Yeah, right. All right. So what we're about to see is we're gonna go on to the inside the ship where Mary Elizabeth, where General Syndulla is going to find out what they're doing. Why are they doing with a hyperdrive core that big?
Right.
And so we're going to find out what exactly is happening on that ship. And that was, and that is something that I know something about as the droid, because the droid is the one who catalogs all the inventory coming in and out of the ships. And so you'll see that here coming up next.
How are they creating Hu Yang? Is that all CG?
Space
is that
magic.
part CG? Is it, is it combination? I mean, it's an amazing job.
Right? Yeah. He is a puppet. So he has a much like Anthony Daniels puppeteered C-3PO in skeletal form in the Phantom Menace.
Episode 1.
Yeah, that Hu Yang is also being puppeteered, I believe, by Mike Manziel. So it's supplemented probably by CG, but overall it is a puppeteered.
I think Hal had mentioned last week that there's minor shots that they have to, or they can do better in CG, like if he's walking a certain way or doing certain types of movements. So they'll cut, but it's so seamless.
Yes, exactly. Here we go. So I'm on the right here, and I built both of these droids.
Nice.
I believe your droid was voiced by Shelby Young.
No, this one was voiced by Gwendolyn Christie.
Oh wow.
Oh wow!
Really?
Yeah.
Was she tucked away in the credits somewhere?
We didn't see her.
Uncredited.
No, wow, that's great.
I don't know.
We'll have to look
Shelby
when it's
Young
over.
did. I think Shelby Young did the blue droid, the navigator droid that I played in episode 1.
Ah, gotcha.
That is now in
So
pieces.
when we're filming this scene right here, whenever I come on set, I come in full character as a droid. So, I want the cast to meet this character, not a guy in a suit. And so when I wander on, I am inspecting things and looking around and things like that. And I could see Rosario watching me, and I went over and I said, Miss Ahsoka, it's wonderful to see you. And or whatever. I didn't do C-3PO's voice, but
Right,
I did my own voice. And then when we took a break and they take the head off, and she goes, "Chris, it's you." Last time, she goes, "You are such a vibe," and she's talking about the droid and the performance on set, because the droids feel like Star Wars. And so she was like, it was in this scene. She goes, I want to give you a chest bump, but I don't want to knock you over. And I was like, come on, bring it in. And so in this scene, literally, Ahsoka and C1D1, the red droid, we're doing this like chest bump. And it was like, awkward, of course, because it's a droid. Anyway, so fun.
Oh, we need that. That needs to be a TikTok somewhere.
Yeah.
I like the two-tone with the jaw.
That design was by Doug Chang himself.
Nice. Ooh.
Yeah.
Well,
Snippy
I
snap.
don't know.
you're done.
Nice.
The other droid here is performed by Dan Bowman, who played the blue droid in the cantina scene in Mandalorian season 3. He is a good friend of mine, and they told me we were going to have 2 droids in the shot this one day, and they were like, "Can you find somebody?" And I said, "Dan, do you want to be in Star Wars again?"
Nice.
And he was like, "Yeah." So we're both in the scene.
Yep.
That was fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Chopper.
Oh, this character is so great. Yeah, you're right. I can't remember his name.
Marek.
Merrick. Yeah, that's
Merrick.
right. Yeah.
Such an inquisitor vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's got this knightly kind of thing to him.
Medieval looking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very much so.
Yeah. He was
He's like-
performed by stuntman. Gosh, I need to check his.
I think it's Paul Darnell. Was that, or is it Wes Chapman?
Yes, that's right. Darnell.
Yeah.
Paul Darnell did an awesome job. Again, another great character, bad character that did not last as long as we needed him to.
And had a
as far
weird
as-
sort of end, which seemed ambiguous, I think. Needed to be more
maybe
to it.
on purpose. Yeah.
Paula Filoni, he loves.
Yeah,
to
well, that's
give
true.
you- he is the king of wanting you to create your own, mind cannon.
No one is ever really gone.
Somehow,
What I also
Merrick
love about
returned.
this is that you could. It feels like almost like we could understand Chopper. Like we could actually hear Dave saying the words.
Yeah.
When he's getting completely nuts in here. It's awesome.
Right.
He's much more sort of regular speak than he is in Rebels. I think he brought it a little differently for the live action.
Now, is that droid there in this fight scene? Is that mocap and CGI? Is that puppeted? Someone in a suit?
It's a combination of an actor wearing a green suit with droid parts and the head on him, and they're like 6'4", 6'3" or something actors. And then it's a lot like when I played Q90, how my legs were CG, but the top of me was all practical. It's like
Right.
that. It's a combination of practical and CG. The reason I know that is because I worked with them on Ahsoka. Sorry, Mandalorian. When in that episode where Ahsoka was fighting them,
Nice.
and I was there on that day. Gosh, you know what? Ming Q is the stunt or the fight coordinator for Ahsoka, and I love this different style of fighting, lightsaber fighting, that feels so visceral and feels a little more different or a little different than we've seen before. And she is such a humble and talented uh, fight coordinator and stunt woman herself.
Well,
Right.
and how they've really done different with the different styles of sabers that give you the different style of fighting. Like Ray's got
Yeah.
the big two-handed, and it's slower but more powerful, and then this one
Yeah.
is super fast, double-bladed kind of thing.
Watch him recall the double blade and her,
I love that.
just like Anakin does.
Yeah. Doesn't even have to look. Just knows it's coming
No.
beside her head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She was trained well.
Chopper's the best.
Good evening, Peter.
I mean, I love, especially when they talking about Anakin, that it was so easy for him to switch from Anakin to Vader, like just by turning his head down, he like his eyes changed again. I was like, wow, he got the mastery down, as a force. It's actually kind of cool.
Yes.
You said Anakin had mastery. No.
Okay, yes.
But you're not a master.
Ching.
But the live action Clone Wars was absolutely insane.
That was part of my favorite parts of this series, seeing Anakin live action in the Clone Wars. Those flashbacks.
Oh yes, I got
Those
chills
were
in
amazing.
those scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing him in that armor with that, different, like interim haircut and the whole vibe.
Right.
It was very, like Spencer likes to say, he was doing Matt Lanter's version of Anakin, kind of.
Right.
So he had a kind of a mixture.
Yeah.
So, Chris, you talked a minute ago about how you built those droids. I think we've talked about it a little bit before in your other appearances, but I'm sure there are new people here in the chat. Can you talk a little bit about how you go about creating a droid?
Well, this is my 19th, 20, 21st year building droids, protocol droids. And when I say droids, I mean costumes. I don't mean remote control, droids. And so, not to get them confused with the magic that is remote control rolling droids, but so, it took me 3 years to build the first one back in 2003. And then, once I had the molds, then I could build an army, I guess.
Nice.
And so, I collaborate with the production, and we bring these characters to life. And that's kind of as much as I can say about it. But I will say that, building them is a lot of work, but it's really fun to collaborate on how these will look, what colors they will be, what color their eyes are, or, what kind of finish will it be, brushed or shine, reflective, polished.
Yeah.
So here in this scene, this is a special scene out on the tarmac here. We needed like 4 droids, protocol droids, on this day. So right there, the red droid there is played by Justin Sonfield, who is the head of the 501st. Also, Leanna Vamp plays the other one. So
really?
they were my backups on
Nice.
this day because I was also out there on the tarmac as the RA7. And when they told me that we're going to have 3 droids in this scene, and can you find someone else to fill those suits? I knew that Justin, who also costumes as C-3PO as a fan, I knew that he was trustworthy, and that he could endure a suit and also do some performance as a protocol droid. And I've used also Leanna Vamp in the past. We've worked together.
She's very cool.
She's played, yeah, she is, and she's played a couple of other protocol droids as well. And she's been my backup on Book of Boba Fett in the Cantina. One day when I was filming on the Kenobi set, I asked her to come in and do fill in for me on some background shots, and so it was really fun to have Justin, who I knew was a huge droid fan, C-3PO fan. It was fun to have him there, and he did a great job.
Leanna actually gave me the first kind of motivation to continue cosplaying when I did one of my early cosplays and was out and about at a con that she was at as well with her, I believe.
She gave you
boyfriend
motivation.
at the time. Yeah, so she's like, make sure you continue wearing that costume, and it was
great.
It was just a positive interaction that made me feel more comfortable about doing the whole thing.
She's such a lovely human being, and I love working with her. And she's very hard worker, and really dedicated, and someone you can really trust as well with the secrets. So so I really like working with Leanna.
That's cool. And here's the prologue that we were talking about, the live action prologue of Rebels.
Yes.
With that wall.
Right.
Did you see the wall in San Diego? Did you go to Comic-Con?
I did. Yeah. Yes. It was so cool to see it.
Oh, yeah. Of course, you were at Comic-Con. We were at the meetup together. Duh.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, that was very cool to see in the Lucasfilm area.
Yeah.
The Star Wars booth.
Right. Oh, this is such a beautiful scene. The lighting and gosh.
They did bring that Lothal to life very well.
I was about to say, just the craftsmanship in creating all of this. I mean, the attention to detail, the lighting, it just was smooth, and you could feel it, and it just felt like you were watching Rebels in live action.
Yes.
They did such a good job converting that. We talk about the characters, like, oh, this person played that and that person played this. But let's just talk about the fact that, that planet was crucial to that whole series, and to see it in live action and to have it in such clear crystal quality was enjoyable on a visceral.
Well, and from what you're talking about, there've got to be literal armies of people, but like multiple literal armies, because there's a CGI army, and there's got to be the practical, the carpenters and stuff who are doing all of this stuff, because you're saying so much of this is practical.
Now, see these what look like RA7 type droids?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Those were designed by Brian Matthias.
Okay.
And those are puppeteered also.
Right.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I really liked the sorry to get off the droid subject, but the way that they did these holograms,
yes,
kind of the dusty kind of particle thing going on, as opposed to it being like video lines from a old
scan lines,
monitor back in the day.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I thought that was a really interesting kind of change.
Well, so it's like everybody has different brands of technology.
Right.
It's not all one brand of holo projectors.
Not all Sony
in the universe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jonathan had another great question for you. He said, sadly for all of us, Shauna passed before her time, but did she have a lasting influence on your work?
Yeah, I worked with Shauna on Book of Boba Fett first. She was when I played the elevator droid or elevator alien who gets on with Mando, and we have this awkward moment. She built that costume with her She built that costume on me, so I would come in, and then they would drape material on me, and then they'd pick different things and wrap it around me. And I remember Shauna saying, I always like to put a guy in a dress. And so she, what I wore in that scene was a dress, but it was turned around, so I was wearing it backwards. And anyway, but what she kind of shared with me was, and this is how she was all the time, was everybody has worth, and you know, it doesn't, you don't have to do something to be worthy of love or worthy of appreciation or respect. Just as a human being, you deserve respect, and you're worthy of you know, being important, you know, because you're a human being, and and being able to work with her, she loved people bringing ideas, and she would, you know, she had her own like direction of how things should be, but she was totally fine working, like if you brought ideas, you know, maybe this should be like this, or maybe you know, whatever, maybe the boots should, you know, be tucked in, or what, I don't know, whatever. But she was always open to that, and I love that about her. Nobody felt, you never felt like, oh, you're just an assistant, you know. No one ever felt like that. She always respected, and everyone felt respect uh, from her. And I was so shocked when the news came, their costume designer, um, that I immediately started texting her and calling her, because I just, I had gotten the news secondhand, and I just wanted to make sure. And I the next day, her son called me, and he said, "Hey, I saw your messages. I just wanted to let you know what happened." And anyway, you know, the respect that she gave other human beings, you know, was passed down to her kids, and they were also that way. Anyway, it was just so sad to lose such a talented person at the top of her game, and who was had treated people with such love and kindness. Uh, you know, so
Yeah, that was huge
um,
loss.
yeah, and but so fun to work with. You know, when we were at San Diego Comic-Con, I snuck into her panel because I had just gotten done doing a panel and I wanted to hear hers, and so it was really fun to be able to hear her talk about her stuff. Yeah, yeah. I
Well, I
was trying
hope
to sneak in, and I was trying to sneak in in the middle of her giving a talk, or you know, answering a question, she goes, "Chris, he plays C-3PO," and I was like, "Oh gosh," I was really trying to slip in here, but she was so generous that way in giving people credit for work that they did, you know, and to think that, you know, those costumes, I think they won, uh, or at least had been nominated. It was just great to be able to partner with her on building costumes.
Yeah, she was nominated for both Ahsoka and Mandalorian. Um,
Right.
and I'm very, you know, I'm very hopeful that not only the movie, but season 2 Ahsoka, her original designs and presence is felt throughout the entire process.
Right. Yeah, she was very influential, and the way that she created costumes, the way that she had this kind of um, trying things, you know, until you find the thing that works, and was and working with other people was, you know, that's her legacy. I think is everybody has worth, and everybody, you know, is contributing in an important way.
It's
You've
great that you
definitely
say
created
that.
a lot of value yourself. It's amazing, not just the characters that you played, but the creations that you've added to
Yeah, for
the
sure.
Star Wars universe. You definitely taken advantage of exactly what she taught you and create value.
Oh, thank you, Skip.
It's
Yeah,
interesting. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's interesting how you talk about how she was, you know, open to things and, you know, whatever when it came to the costuming, because I, you know, do some cosplay and know a lot of cosplayers, and one in particular was so taken aback from how gracious she was when she came in Hera cosplay to one of the, like, it was either at it was at some screening or something, I guess, after the strike was over. I'm not sure. Anyways, and how she said, "Oh, I should have, maybe I should have done her, this or that way," like referring to this person's cosplay as opposed to,
Wow.
comparing it to the, actual on-screen costume that and makeup that ended up being used. So I thought that was really cool, just to hear that. Not even,
I think Shauna really was so honored that cosplayers took some of her designs and made them, themselves, because they in turn honor her work. But she felt so humbled that people, fans, I could tell just in talking to her that she felt that it was, I don't know, it's just really special when because we're all Star Wars fans that work on the shows, and so when you get to see fellow fans make stuff based on the work that you did, it just feels really, gosh, very humbling and very special. And I know that I could see that in her interactions with fans too.
Collaboration is just another high form of complimenting. It's like, I value your work. I want to bring it in with what I'm doing. It's just another way of saying, you're excellent.
Right. Yeah. Great point, Skip.
So our member Peter actually asked, he wants to know if we'll hear you do some karaoke at Bunta when we go to for Scum and Villainy.
We were just talking about this last night about doing karaoke. Yeah, I would love to.
We're gonna have
karaoke.
Bernie as our MC. Hopefully, if he's not too worn out from San Diego Comic-Con the weekend before that. But he's a great karaoke MC, so that should be a lot of fun.
Oh, great.
Well, I'm still hoping for you to sing Mr. Roboto, but that's just me. So
wow,
you got the moves down.
That's
an
internet viral video right there.
Right. I did one time when I was doing a special event for Lucasfilm at Disney World with the cast members out there. One time after a day of Star Wars weekends performing, we all went out for karaoke, and no joke, I was singing Ring of Fire as Johnny Cash, and they were like, "Sing it like C-3PO." So I sang Ring of Fire as C-3PO.
Very cool.
That was pretty hilarious. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm not promising that's what's going to happen, but
that would be. Actually, someone just asked if that was a spoiler.
Oh, let's see. Chris Colvin. I think Chris really brings his droids to life in a meaningful way. It takes amazing talent to emote without being able to see the droids' faces. Yeah. Chris, thanks for bringing that up. That is, that's true. It's a different kind of acting, but it is acting, and that the performance. Carl Weathers, when we did Mandalorian season 3, he insisted that we do all of our rehearsals without my mask on, because we wanted to have this emotional connection between both of us. And, because I'm doing all the lines as if they're going to use my voice. I'm bringing every acting strength that I have in because I want to give back to the my scene partners. I don't want them to just come there and I'm basically just a tin can with no personality or nothing. I'm doing all the lines with all the emotion that I would normally do if I was a face character. And so I hope that translates. You have to exaggerate a little bit, so that it shows through the armor, I guess you could say. But to Chris's point, a lot of it is very physical, and you have to show your emotion. Like, think about it. How do we know, besides if you watched C-3PO, Anthony Daniels as C-3PO, if you watch him with the sound off, you can tell if he's calm or if he's frantic or if he's excited or frightened or whatever. And so
Indeed.
that's what I'm trying to do as well in all the and I know all of the droids that I play, and I play all of them with a droid foundation, but they all have different personalities. So C-3PO, is established by Anthony Daniels. He can be very my goodness, quite frantic. But the teacher droid, who looks like C-3PO, the teacher droid is very calm and is explaining the history of whatever, the Kessel Run or whatever. But if you watch the motions that I'm putting into the teacher droid, those motions are all very calm because she's teaching a classroom of children.
Exactly.
And she needs to maintain a level of calmness in the class. But then you think of like One Jack who was in Obi-Wan Kenobi, where I was hunting little Leia. He was very much like he had to be a cold killing machine, and he needed to be very fast in his motion, I think of it like a tank or like a machine gun. That was kind of like his attitude. And like Zero, Q90, he was like a praying mantis. He was very very, very unsettling. That was his movement, and so that's how I played him too. So, but I could go on about all of them, but they all have different personalities, and it's fun being inside each of them and being able to come up with those in order to, sometimes without lines, to be able to transmit like what this droid is feeling or what he wants in this moment. Without having to you being able to see my face.
Same thing you were talking
You
about.
do excellent job.
We had a conversation at Rhode Island because I brought you a picture from the Orville, and you told me about the motivation of your Kalon. So it's very similar of that scenario.
Yeah. As a Kalon on the Orville, Mark Jackson, who plays Isaac, he said, "Chris, there's no C-3PO here. This is nothing like C-3PO." And I'm like, that's okay. It's a character where you tell me how these characters move. He said they're very human-like. Their hands are always at the ready for service, and as if they're always ready to input in a keyboard. That's what he said. So if you slid a keyboard under their hands, they would be ready to go. So that's kind of how the hands were supposed to be. But they moved, very steady, but they did have human-like. They're I don't know, modeled after their human counterparts. So there was that, and we also all had to wear butt pads because our butts all had to be the same shape.
Carl Weathers was rather impressed with your work. He made a mention of that, when we were in Rhode Island. He pointed you out in particular.
That's right. Gosh, Carl is awesome. He is. I can't say enough good things about him. But we really connected over the work on Mandalorian season 3. I played Copper, who was his.
Copper's awesome.
Copper is Grief Karga's right-hand droid, and the way I played Copper was like a younger, more naive, less experienced version of C-3PO. So that's how I played him. But yeah, working with Carl, he said to me, while we were working together, he's just really generous to say that. And also, like I said, when we were working together, he really wanted to make sure our characters connected in a human way, even though one of us was not playing a human. And gosh, he was just, we started out having nothing in common, sports and fighting. That's not my thing. And so we, but through the work, going to work every day and our characters interacting every day and telling these stories, we really connected through the work and became really good friends. And I love him. Every time any chance I get to see him at a convention, we go, and he's just just so generous and kind.
So was his request to have you guys rehearse face to face as an actor or as a director or both?
Well, on that day, it was as an actor. If you go back and watch in Mandalorian season 3, when I can't remember which episode it is, I think it's the pirates. It's when the Mandalorian privateers arrive. And we're out on his balcony of his office, looking at a massive ship that's coming over. And I'm saying, as Copper, I'm saying it's an Imperial Star Destroyer, and Grief Karga is saying, no, that's a Mandalorian privateer. You can see by the marking. And I'm saying, no, that's, according to my data, that's not how it is. But that scene was one of the ones where he said, let's make sure we get this, emotionally connected by doing it with your face off. And so you can see when he's trying to explain it to me, it's like a dad explaining to his kid. Excuse me. And that moment, you can really see this emotional connection. I don't know. I can anyway when you watch it and
rewatch it and take a closer look.
Yeah. Like the care that Grief Karga is taking to explain to his droid why he knows something that's not based on data that's in a data bank somewhere that I'm accessing as a droid. It's just great. I really, really enjoyed working with him.
One of my favorite scenes that you guys did together is when you pushed over the bust onto the broken IG droid.
Yes, right. So I've hunted Grogu. I've taught Grogu. I've welcomed him to Navarro, and I've saved his life.
Nice.
He, of course, has no idea because I'm a great actor. But no. Yeah, that was such a funny day, a fun day to film, because it started out where IG-12 is on the operating table or on that map table, and it was just the top half of him. And when he came to life, he's being puppeteered in real time by Mike Manziel, and he falls off the table and he's crawling across, Terminator style across the floor. It was just like, wow, we are making some cool stuff here. It was really fun. And then when it came time, I'm supposed to hide behind the statue and then push it over. And we had it was rigged on a hinge so that it would fall over, where's my camera? It would fall over like this and not quite hit the ground. So it wouldn't damage it each time. So every take we did it, right. And then they'd winch it back up. Yeah. But
nice.
Yeah, that was a funny scene, but there's a great outtake of that where Mando Brendan throws Grogu to Grief Karga, Carl, and Carl catches him like a football, and former NFL player, and I've got this on my phone, so maybe when we're in person, I'll go to you, but he catches it like a football, and everyone starts cracking up because it's like, Carl, former NFL player, catching Grogu as a football. I don't know why. It was just hilarious.
That's a good tie-in.
He tucks him and starts to.
That's right.
Well, he didn't spike him.
Yeah. And this is why we love to have you around.
Exactly.
Chris.
That's what
Great
everyone was
stories.
worried about. Everyone was afraid he was going to spike him. Right? Yeah. Do the little
Great
dance.
stories.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Once again, Chris, thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's always a masterclass when we have you on, because we love hearing all these stories.
You guys are so generous and so kind to have me and to watch and do these watch-alongs for fans. I think they're really fun to watch with someone who's worked on it, to hear what that was like. And that's all. I just want fans to be able to hear some of the fun things that go on while we're making these stories, and I hope we can continue to make many, many more. So thanks a lot for watching. We wouldn't have a show without you guys watching. So thanks.
It's our absolute pleasure. And next week, we're not going to be having a guest, but I am going to announce tonight that for episode 4, we have the return of Dawn Deininger is going to be joining us. So we're very excited for Dawn to come back and hear her story.
I love Dawn. Dawn
Yeah.
is great. Do you know that Dawn was not only is she a talented creature performer and puppeteer and fabricator, but she was also my first dresser as Q90. She would dress me. What she would do is she'd run over, put my stuff on, put my arms on, put my head on, and then she'd run back over and do other puppeteering that she's doing. And then if I
Oh,
needed
wow.
a helmet break, she'd run back over. I
Mhm.
mean, she's a superwoman. I mean, she's just, and just so humble and really talented, really, really sweet person. So I'm glad that you guys get to see her.
She was great. She came on, I believe it was during, I think it was during was season 3, Dave, or was it Obi-Wan that she came on for?
Ooh,
I can't remember.
don't remember.
She definitely came on for one of her Rodian episodes, which was
absolutely.
fantastic.
Was it the one where they were on the Star Transport? Was it that one?
I think so. She was a mother.
Yeah, I think it was that one.
Oh, very nice. Well, we're looking for Dawn on, and we also very much look forward to seeing both you and Dawn at Scum and Villainy on July 29th.
Yes, we'll be there if we're not doing anything else. Katie will be there too. Yes, Katie's.
Yay!
Yeah, Katie
will be there as well.
We need you to get up and start singing, Katie.
Wait, get up and start what?
Singing.
Singing.
Karaoke.
Oh, yeah.
Spencer? Wait, I gotta go this way.
Yeah.
Hi, Spencer? No.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Sounds like a challenge.
Oh boy.
Right.
Well, let's get. Thank you so much, Chris, for having us tonight. Anything you want to close out with, Chris?
Oh, let's see. I again just wanted to say how much I appreciate what you guys are doing for the fans. This is something extra that is, as a kid, I was watching Star Wars in the theater, and then you go home and then there's nothing else. Now we have all, you go home, you take your action figures, you go out in the backyard and you play and make up your own stories. Now we have so much media, that's hard to consume it all. But we have so much that is like, I don't know. There's a lot of media out there, and I'm just saying this is such quality stuff that you guys put together. Not only with the watch-alongs, but also stuff at conventions and also with the events that you're putting on. I mean, this just is so much fun, and I know it takes a ton of effort, Spencer, and for everybody here to put together. And I just want to say thanks so much for keeping the stories continuing, even when there isn't maybe a new show out. So thank you so much.
It's our pleasure, and look forward to having you back on the show whenever the next project you are going to be in.
Thanks.
Well,
and thanks, Lila.
Skip, anything you want us to close out with?
I'm just thrilled to be here, as always. I love it when I get these fill-ins, get to hang out with Chris, my buds. It was a great night.
Absolutely. Johnson says thank you very much, Chris. He wishes he could be on the show tonight, but he looks forward to seeing you in California.
We miss you, Jonathan. We'll see you next time.
And Jeff, anything you want to close out with?
It's just another amazing episode with you, Chris, having your insights and knowledge of all the things from fabrication to being in the suit to other types of associations with the finished product that we get to enjoy. It's always fun.
Thank you. Thanks, Jeff.
And Dave Filoni.
Filoni.
Oh, look at that. Dave Filoni. Well.
Is his mic
off?
off?
Dave.
Mike,
Are you muted?
Dave, your mic's
you're
off.
muted.
Oh, Dave's mic went away because craziness was happening. But yes, thank you, Chris, for joining us again. For everybody who missed part of the episode, remember you can always see this immediately after on the Virtual Cantina Network. You can catch our stuff from Daughters of the Galaxy last night, and then
show.
if you know what that says right there that tells you if you don't know, go watch Daughters and find out.
Wait. I need to screen.
Oh,
Bring it back. There it is. Take a little a
Yeah.
little shot of that.
Yes. There we go. Got it. Yeah.
and you got to figure that one out. Just
Or if you watch the episode, it becomes very apparent about I think halfway through what that is.
Cool.
So
little tidbits
Very
here,
cool.
but yes,
But,
watch this and watch all of Chris's other
I-
great watch-alongs on the network.
definitely.
Thanks, Dave.
Excellent. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this evening. A lot of programming always coming up on the Virtual Cantina Network. A lot of meetups are coming up. A lot of great things this year. We're happy you're with us. We're going to have an incredible 2024. So, from Chris, from Skip, from Jeff, and from Dave, this is Spencer saying, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
General Grievous.
And
Mhm.